Hello everyone, this is Flatline, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial, I guess you could say, or just tips. Actually, a tip video that makes sense. I'm just going to be going over the 3 matches for Protoss: the PvZ, the PvT, and at the end will be a PvP on scouting. I saw a Reddit post about exactly what do you actually scout for in these matchups. Pretty much you'll see a lot of Protoss, they just do blind stuff and they end up winning, and that's good and all, but for the lower leagues and all that, they might not understand exactly what was going on, you know, in their mind and their thought process on what their opponents are doing, on what they scouted, and etc, etc. So we're gonna be going on about PvZ in the beginning. I do see him sending that very early drone, so this early drone is pretty much to deny my nexus as much as possible. When you see that, you do want to send out 2 probes down there, generally around 15/16-ish supply, so that way you can kind of prevent that. You don't want them to like block that. Now when you go inside the Zerg space, 2 minutes and 9 seconds is a very key point. That's about the time they can get a 15 hatch down. 156 and above is a 15 pull, and that's what he did. He did a 15 pull here. I actually sent my probes down here pretty late. That's a little bit bad by me here, honestly. But I did see the pole being thrown down from him. If you see that, then they can't really put a hatchery down here. By the time they can put down a hatchery is around 250-ish, if anything. So I was okay in that situation. Gonna be getting my forge. Now I'm gonna scout inside his base. I do see his eggs being used, and he did not make that overlord. When you go back inside the base, they had to make an 18 overlord, and that's what he's doing. So when I went in here, I saw that he's playing pretty greedy. So look at this, I'm getting my gateway. You're gonna see me chrono boost my probes before I even do make a cannon here. Okay, up that probe. So my cannon is not on time. You can see it's not on time, or it's not as fast as possible. It's because I'm pretty much safe from any kind of aggression coming out from Zerg. They can't really put that on me, since they use up their eggs on those 2 extra drones, or that extra drone, instead of making that extra ling. I'm gonna see if he's getting a 3rd, so I don't get to see he got a 3rd. That's fine, you know, that's fine. My build are revolved around scouting. I'm not gonna specifically go into my builds, so I'm sorry if you do want to know what kind of opening I go for. I will generally just, you know, say I'm going for a fast 3 nexus build for this. But if you do want to go into games and you like builds that would help you in the long run, I generally would go for builds that cater towards scouting safely. So this is what I usually do. I usually chrono boost out my zealot and a 2nd one. I send the first zealot straight to the 3rd. By the time it gets to the 3rd, the 3rd should be almost done, if not done. So you can kind of see if they're going to be canceling it, if they even have a 3rd, all that kind of stuff. You see he's trying to contest it with these 2 lings, but they're not really going to, I mean, come on. The 2 lings really not going to really do that much damage. Now I understand if they make more lings, 4 lings or so, that's fine. That's why I actually chrono boost out a stalker as a 2nd one, just in case that happens. I do see that. If you go to my vision, in fact, I see the creep, I see the hatchery. Okay, so he has a 3rd. Now I know. I'm actually just gonna wait for my stalker and my zealot here to actually apply some pressure. Now this is my 2nd way of scouting, I guess. You want to kind of push them to be making a lot of lings. If anything, this is where you kind of tell if they have speed or not. Around 7 minutes, speed should be kicking in if they actually got a pretty early gas, but it looks like he doesn't have an early gas, as you can tell from here, and all that kind of stuff. So we got this settled down. We saved the third, he didn't get a very quick gas, all that kind of stuff. Just leading point to pretty much the regular wings opening coming out from Jungle Shrimp. Caught me off surprise. So now we need to go for the second stage. That's the first stage. The first stage is pretty much the early game. CMV got a third hatchery. He's going for a macro game. Awesome. Second stage. What is his tech? You know, you see double evos. He's actually got a roach warren on the way. He actually goes into a double evo in this game. He actually cancels that. That's surprising. And sorry guys, I'm still sick. I'm getting these dry coughs, so please bear with me. Like I said, I'm just completely sorry if this gets pretty annoying for you when you hear my coughs. He's going to double evos. Now when you see double evo, you don't really assume he's going mutas, because generally if they want to go for mutas, they want to put a lot of gas into mutas, and getting those upgrades cost gas, that kind of thing. So generally you don't really expect that to happen, but he actually does go for mutas. We'll actually keep it to my camera. Let's just go with my vision. I think this is a little bit better for the people watching this video on how the Protoss kind of assumes. So my second stage is scouting his tech. I usually hallucinate a phoenix. Okay, so say double evo in a layer. Now I need to see, does he have tech? Oh, he has a spire. So he has a spire on the way, so it looks like he is actually gonna be going for mutas. Boom. Instantly be thrown down to 2 stargates, but look at this. I only have one pylon. One pylon. And this is the most important thing out of all these productions. Not the forge, not the cyber, not this gateway, not these 3 gateways. These 2 stargates are the most important thing right now for me to make sure that they're powered. So you're gonna see me add on a couple of more pylons here, pretty much to fortify this position, make sure that they don't get unpowered. You can see I'm chrono boosting out some observers because I do have a robotics here, pretty much pointless right now. I'm actually adding on the robotics bay. This is a little bit weird for me. I guess it's because I had the gas to do it. And you see me, I'm going to be chrono boosting out these 2 stargates. I don't know 100% sure if he's going mutas yet. We only see the spire. We do see it moving, jiggling around. That means he's upgrading something from the spire. Is actually getting that +1 fire's attack. So we don't know 100% sure. He knows I scouted it. Usually the Zergs will be like, cancel that, go Roach Hydra Corruptor or something like that. But there it is. See me moving that observer. I see the mutas. Okay. He's actually committed. Boom. Adding on the fleet beacon. Gonna be actually add on the cannons here, but I actually cancel that thought because I actually have these 4 phoenixes already. So I'm gonna be well prepared for this muta thing that he's about to do. I'm surprised he's actually doing this when I actually scouted this. Generally when they go mutas, they will double expand. Usually be right here and here on this position. When you're dealing with mutas, that's what they generally do, because the mutas tend to give Zerg map control, right? Unless the Protoss player is well prepared like I am with these phoenixes, the double expand is probably not the best thing for him if he actually does go for it. So it looks like he's gonna go for some kind of harass. He is able to knock out a cannon. But look at this, I have enough phoenixes to actually contest against this, and so now his muta count is just going down the drain. And this is where it gets pretty bad for Zerg, is when the muta pretty much does nothing. You see him throwing down the Hydrostin, that roach one that I was talking about. Now he's gonna transition into this. So this is where it gets pretty iffy for Zergs, because the gas that they saved and preserved for this whole entire time was completely useless throughout the game, and you have to remember that they had the double evos and all that. Yeah, I get it. They got the double, you know, the +1 carapace, the +1 melee attack upgrade thing. But the gas that they invested, look at his gas. Only 400 gas right now. He can't really. He's getting that +2/+2 for his lanes here. He didn't get any upgrades for his range attack, so that's the bad thing for him. You can see him trying to get these some stuff. He didn't actually get this expansion I was talking about. I knew he didn't do it. I had amazing scouting with this. It's been doing a lot of damage though. And now I see the Hydras. By the way, Hydras, the Phoenixes actually do pretty decent for them when they're small numbers. It's once they get that huge number of Hydras, it gets pretty bad. So you can pretty much pick off a couple of them whenever they're rallied to a specific location. You'll have a Zerg rally everything to one location. Just makes it easier for Zerg. Alright, so I now know he's going Roach Hydra. Look at this. Instant transition into Colossus. My double robotics here. Getting +3, +2. All that kind of stuff. And this is where Zerg is weak. I killed off a lot of drones here. There's no drones here. So he has two scenarios, guys. Two scenarios that you must understand. He has to drone a lot, or he has to go for an all-in. Either way, a simple solution for both of them is just to make a lot of stuff. Just constantly make a lot of stuff. And look at this. I see him. I see some drones. My indication of this is to pretty much go for a timing attack. I'm gonna be waiting for those 2 extra Colossi. You see me chrono boost them even when they're almost done already. It's because I want that. I want them out immediately because I'm gonna be going for a timing attack. His gas, like I said, was spent all on those mutas, and those really didn't do anything. So his transition is really rough. The transition would be a lot smoother if I wasn't as prepared as I was in this game. The mutas actually did a lot of damage. If he had double expanded and I wasn't able to punish it, like kill off an expansion, he might have been in a better shape than this. He would actually have more gas to maneuver around with his units. Or so you can see him trying to squeeze in some drones. At the same time, he knows he has to make a lot of units. And this is where it gets pretty bad from. Like I said, the second stage is the tech that he goes for. The third stage is pretty much what is his end game route. Unfortunately, in this game, we're actually not going to be able to see it. Generally, it's going to be Roach Hydra Viper though. With his composition, since he's going for Roach Hydra. And we'll see if he actually goes for that. All they need is a high for that anyways. I actually don't know that. So I said some zealots. Looks like his army's there. I know his army's there. I'm going to be positioned here. Don't want him to have the positional advantage. I should be having that positional advantage. I have the better units. I have the better upgrades. Do not want to be losing this kind of sword. You can look at this. His army is everywhere. His army's here. His army's here. I have a lot of sentries as well. It's going to be coming from behind. This could be pretty good for him in this case. Here we go. Some time warps. Force fields right here. Reposition my army. So what sentries are really good at, they actually can alter the playing field for the opponent and yourself and put it in your advantage here. So you saw those force fields pretty much put them out of range of my Colossus, so my Colossus were able to do damage being untouched, and my my Phoenix here able to pick off these few Hydras as well. But yeah, this is pretty much game. This is pretty much how I play PvZ. There's pretty much 3 stages. Obviously there's more stages as the game progresses when it comes to scouting. Usually in the first one's pretty much early game, early pull. Okay, he does have early pull. He went normal. Did he go 3 hatch? Did he go 2 hatch with gas? Alright, after you got that done, you need to go for the second stage. What is his tech? What is his next step for the mid game? What's pushing him towards the mid game? Because usually that's where Zergs had to do some kind of damage to Protoss. It seems because of the late game, if Protoss is able to get that Sky Toss plus Templar tech, it gets really difficult for Zergs to actually engage into that kind of army composition. So they generally focus in the mid game and try to do some kind of damage. He went for mutas. I scouted it with the hallucinated and confirmed it with my observer that I saw the mutas. And so I was ready, well prepared, took it out. And then you have to understand how many bases he has. That's the other thing you need to make sure you scout for. Look at the amount of mutas he made. Did he also get the upgrade for it? And he was. All that gas did nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that's like 1200 gas down a drain for Zerg. That's a lot of tech that he sacrificed. And you just have to understand that. And once you understand that, you could pretty much go for either a timing attack behind that, or just take a very quick expansion behind that. He can't really do anything except make those like mineral use, which would be roaches and lings, which aren't that really good in the late game. So the next one, I said I was going to do a PvT. Which one do I want to do? We'll do this one, Flatline versus King. I know I said he's diamond, but this was near the beginning. I was, like I said, I was facing the flu, so I didn't ladder that much while I was sick. So these are really old games, but all we're doing right now is just going over scouting. So same thing applies in PvT. There's a couple of stages you have to understand. This is the early game stage. This is where you need to decide, is he getting gas? Is he going for one max gasless expand? Which can be very risky unless you're able to, you know, get very quick Widow Mines out on time. But generally they're not able to get that if you proxy your Stargate. So proxy Stargate usually beats gasless expand. So there you go. I'm gonna be harassing a little bit, which is not what I should be doing. I mean, I can do it, but the main priority for that probe is to stay alive. You need to see if he's getting gas or not. Boom. Okay, he's getting a very quick gas. This is a general sign that he's going for Widow Mine. Usually if they go for a Reaper opening, they add that gas near the time the barracks is almost done. But don't quote me on that, because some people will get that gas and it looks like it's going for Widow Mine, but they're actually going for a Reaper. There's just a different Terrans. I mean, this is the NA, everyone does random stuff. But these are like, when it comes to very crisp, refined timings, those are what I'm talking about. Alright, so I did see a gas coming out from, so my response is to get a second gas. I genuinely think that you do have to get a second gas against this, but I can be wrong. I'm able to get off that SCV. Unfortunately, I do lose this probe, I believe, but I do kill that SCV also. It's pretty damn awesome in my opinion. Gonna be getting my second gas that I was talking about. And now I need to understand, what is he doing with the gas that he's getting. So this is still part of that stage 1 that we're talking about, the early game. What is he doing with that gas? What is his tech? Is he going for Hellion drop? Widowmine drop? I didn't see a Reaper. Usually they go Marine then Reaper. But if they go 2 Marines, they usually don't make a Reaper. Usually they make a Reactor after the 2 Marines. Just because the gas lines up. So I do have my sentry going around, poking around, looking for SCVs. I like to chrono boost this sentry out. I like to get it first because I wanted to gather energy. Why? Because it has an awesome spell called hallucination. We're able to hallucinate a unit, and usually it would be a Phoenix in this case. You can hallucinate an Oracle, but the Oracle is a little bit gimmicky in the sense that you kind of hope that your opponent just pulls his workers and overreacts. They're a little bit slower than the Phoenix. That's why I chose the Phoenix instead. The Phoenix are a lot faster, so you're able to get in the base a lot quicker and scout. All I want to do is scout. All I want to do is scout, guys. So That's all I'm there for. Probes can, SCV comes in. I'm pretty sure he knows I expanded. I don't, look at this, look at my vision. If you look at this, I don't know if he expanded. I don't see any tech, I don't see any of this gas, what is being used. Now we're gonna go see. You can see I'm already making some observers as well. The observers are deal with the widow mines, as well as if he's not going for widow mines, then I can use it to spot for possible drops. Look at this. Okay, looks like he's going for a drop, and this is a widow mine drop, guys. It's not a Hellion drop because the Hellion drops actually come a little bit later than this. And generally they'll have a reactor on it, so they can make 2 Hellions at once. So now I know, and I also saw that widow mine as well, just to even confirm even more. So what do? Gotta prepare for the widow mines, guys. 3 stalkers, 1 observer inside the main, 1 observer here. Should have 3. Where is my 3rd sentry? Maybe I didn't make a 3rd sentry. It's a little bit messed up for me, but doesn't matter. Mothership core, observer right here, my sentries, and some zealots here as well. Everything's pretty much fortified against any kind of drop. So it looks like he wants to drop inside the main. There's the widow mine. I'm backing up, backing up. I do lose 1 stalker, but I do kill the widow mine. But I do kill that drop with that photon overcharge. So the drop really didn't do that much damage. It only killed a stalker. Killed a stalker. So now this is the 2nd stage. Did he expand? He did expand. Awesome. Means I chrono boost probes. Means he's not going to be attacking me anytime soon. Heading on that robotics bay. I think I get this a little bit too early, but you know what? It's better to be safe than sorry. Adding on my double forge as well. Like I said, he's not going to be really much attacking into me, and if he does, Protoss had this awesome thing called the mothership core. You can see stem is going to be lining up 70 seconds. He got the stem pretty early, I would say, than usual. Terrence here, because of his drop style, he didn't really focus too much into the drop, as he didn't add any reactors or anything like that. So he's able to get that very, very quick tech lab instead. Gonna be starting +1/+1. Don't really care what I'm doing. I need to know my 2nd step. So I'm going inside his base. I need to see how many buildings he has. Does he have a 3rd command center? What is his upgrades looking like? Does he have 1 engineering bay? Does he have 2 engineering bays? Generally, if they have 2 engineering bays, they have a 3rd command center hiding somewhere. So they do need that 3rd command center when it comes to units. Economy. Do need that 3rd command center. But he actually has only 1. And I actually did not scout that. That was actually unfortunate of me. You can see, look at this. I'm scouting, making sure he doesn't have a 3rd command center. This one's poking right here. It's going to be positioned right outside his natural. Because you do need to scout when he's moving out. When he's moving out is pretty much the time you're like, okay, that's when I need to prioritize making a lot of units. But until then, look how many units I have. I don't have that many units. I don't have that many units. Army supply 41-33 in favor of him. Pretty much says it all. It's pretty much how Protoss works, guys. Instead, I'm using my resources on upgrades and tech. Upgrades and tech, that's it. I do know that he has a drop going on. As you can see, I worked in some more stalkers. Let's go back to my vision. Let's see exactly what I know. See the 3 barracks. I still haven't gone into here really that much in deep. That's actually unfortunate of me. So a little bit of things I need to work on is also the 3rd timing. You need to see when he's building that 3rd command center. Once you see that 3rd command center being built, you can kind of gears to either go for a 2 base all-in, or what I like to do is go for a 3rd command center or a 3rd nexus. That wouldn't mind actually shot for me. I actually get a 3rd command center blindly. Now this is not the best replay to actually show you, and I'm sorry, I actually just rushed through this. But this third is still reasonable to get. I have 2-2 on the way, it's 50% done. I have 2 Colossus, right? His opening has its disadvantage, and the disadvantage is if it doesn't do enough damage, he's gonna be behind in economy. Which means in the later stage, he's not gonna be able to make a lot of units. Let's look at his base right now. He has 3 barracks. He's finally getting this 3rd command center. Look at this. He's not able to get his second armory. His second engineering bay and his armory for 1340 in the game. Ew, right? You usually want to have +2, +1 starting at the same time as Terran. He's not able to do that. He's on the 4th and 5th racks a little bit later than usual. All of these all come down to that opening that he did. He wasn't able to get that super economy that you see from a 1 racks gasless expand that you saw on Wings compared to the one that he's doing today. That you see a lot of Terrans do with that gasless opening. He went for the harassing style and it's not working for him. And so he is behind in economy. Because of that, I know that he's not going to be able to have more units to me. If I gear into making a lot of production units, and look, it's catching up 79 to 82. Remember back then it was, we were down by like 10, like 8 to 10ish. This is a little nice drop. I was able to spot this. That's unfortunate. I'm actually hallucinating an Oracle. Alright. So now what do I need to scout for? I'm going for this double forge style. One thing I like to do is, this is what I like. The hallucinator, by the way, if you put it over the Widowmine, can kind of damage his SCVs. Look at these, the SCVs are pretty much red. I wanted to see if he went for double E-base. You want to see his units. You need to click on his units constantly. 1-1, okay. It's Viking 0-0. I'm 2-2, which means I should have a timing where I'm 3-3 and the guy's not 3-3. He's either 2-2, 2-1, or 1-1. Either one. Either way, it's bad for him. It's good for me and the story. So until then, I'm just going to be defending because I'm investing a lot into it when it comes to chrono boost and my resources. Main priority was on my forge. Right? I kept on constantly chrono boosting it, except now because it's pretty bad at that. There we go. But this observer is key. It's pretty much the later stage when it comes to double forge opening. If you're wondering what to do, what's that 3rd stage for Terran on scouting, what to scout for, you need to see his starports. How many starports does he have? Does he have his 2nd engineering bay? How many command centers he has? How many racks does he have? Racks is pretty much a lot. He actually has a lot. How many racks does he have? In fact, this is pretty much gearing towards either he has bad macro or what? This is probably a very bad tutorial. Okay, so he has 8 racks right now. Actually, that's not that bad. If he has 10 or more racks on 3 base, you must assume that he's gonna be going for a heavy 3 base push. A double reactor, starport, heavy 3 base push. And his 4th is gonna be very late. Fortunately, I was 3-3 and he engaged and he's only 1-1. He's only 1-1, 2-2 is about to finish up. This is actually bad for him. When 3-3 is done for you, that's pretty much your time to pretty much go ahead and attack. You just need to attack with your build. You need to understand your build when it comes to the later stage, if it has a later stage to it. For double forge, it's a 3-3 timing. You'll also see other people go for the Colossus Storm. Usually they'll wait for +3 armor for the Zealots to tank in a lot of shots and allow the Colossus and the High Templars able to get up closer and closer and deal their damage to those units. And generally if they go for that, they don't go for double forge like I did very early. They might add the 2nd forge, but it'll be a little bit later. It'll probably be whenever they get +1 armor. So they start +2 armor and +1 attack or something like that. So this is pretty much a game right now. Like I said, you just need to understand the later stage of your game. I just do this because it's pretty much over. But yeah, it just A-clicked me. I kind of just did. I just kind of like A-moved over there. There's pretty much nothing for me to do. I see this Terran didn't really understand what I meant by drops. If you go for a harassing opening, your harassment needs to do some kind of damage. Pretty cool Colossus stance that Blizzard implemented. If it doesn't do damage, if your opening is a harassment and your harassment did nothing, you're gonna be behind, right? So, anyways, let's just get out of here. I'm not even gonna wait for this, so I'm losing my voice. Another good thing to note is their fourth. Usually their fourth will become a planetary. That map is pretty bad or pretty hard to get a fourth returns. Because you'll be pretty well spread out. So, alright, let me find. What is that PvP build? Oh, here, Keyfire. Cool. Alright, so Keyfire is a high masters Protoss. We're gonna go to my vision. We're just gonna update this a little bit faster than usual. But what I was saying on the Terrans, generally like a daybreak, a fourth is another later stage timing that you need to understand. You don't want to really engage into a fourth against Terran because generally it becomes a planetary. And when is it ever a good time to engage into a planetary? Yeah, not the best thing in the world for you. Alright, I missed a couple of stuff. We're gonna pause right here because it's something really important. In his base, right? When you scout inside the Terran's base, when the cyber is done and they're making whatever unit they're making from this gateway, a third pylon needs to be made inside their base. They need to have 3 pylons to be made. Look at my base, I have 3 pylons, right? In his base, he has 2. Go to my vision, all I saw was 2. This is an indication that he has a proxy pylon set somewhere. Now it could be used just to throw me off the game. They might throw a pylon like right here, for instance, or some weird thing to throw you off. But generally it means that they're going to be proxying you, which is why I'm sending the Zealot out. It could be out on the map. You can see I'm sending another one right here. Look at this. I'm scouting around for typical proxy locations. Typical proxy locations. So this is pretty much the early stage, of course, besides scouting inside your main or around your base to make sure that there's no proxy gates early in the game. Look at this. He is proxying a Stargate here. Cool. Means I instantly gonna be moving these units over here. You can see I have a probe on the watchtower right here. See if he wants to sneak any kind of units behind me, try to get a flank on me. Now he's pretty much committed adding on this second pylon here. That's cool and all. He's trying to get an oracle out. I see that. You can see the animation being made on the starport or Stargate, which is why I'm sending. You only need 2 stalkers to pretty much deal with it. You can see I finally see his units moving over here. I'm gonna probably back up here after I kill this pylon off. Also see the probe going inside. Okay, sir. What kind of gimmicks is this? See the mothership core. So now he's pretty much committed with this attack. You're making proxies. You're constantly making pylons here just so you get that oracle out. See the pylon being made inside my base. Also the mothership being moved across the map. All signs of him being full-on aggression here. I'm going to be expanding behind this, and he sees this. His response is to expand behind this as well. And he's finally going to be able to take out my probe. Now here is where I'm a little bit blind, right? A little bit blind. Don't see anything whatsoever, but this probe actually might be able to get that scout. Come on. Alright, awesome. I scouted the Nexus. Cool. I got pretty lucky with this, I will say. If you're wondering how you scout in PvP, you can either go for a Stargate opening. Actually, I'll cover up all three techs. If you go for the Stargate opening, you can use the Oracle or the Phoenix, you know, whatever you choose or desire to go for. For Robo, just make an Observer. Twilight Council, use the DT. If you don't want to use a tech, what I usually use is I use sentries. I use sentries with hallucination to scout. Unfortunately, I actually don't do it in this game, and I actually do lose these units, unfortunately. Alright, so I do see him making a lot of stalkers. Whenever you see them warp in stalkers like this, it means he's pretty much committed to some kind of attack, some kind of pressure. Because those are gas units. In PvP, every gas is important. It's kind of like ZVZ when it comes to lane bling engagements. You actually want to make the least amount of banelings as possible when it comes to defense, so you can use that gas later on for metas, for instance. Photon overcharge, so I need to know what the hell he's going for. I don't know if he's going for DTs behind this. Did he make a Stargate back at his base? Did he make a Robo? What is his next step? I warp in a sentry. This sentry is pretty much going to be used to hallucinate, so thank goodness he didn't kill it off. Do you see that pylon outside my base? And this is the cool thing about the mothership core. If it has around 140 energy or so, after the cast on the first photon overcharge, you should be able to have one more photon overcharge. You can see it's a little bit behind right now, just a couple of seconds, but I will have photon overcharge again, which will last another minute. So that's 2 minutes of excellent defense for me, which should buy you enough time to be able to get the hallucination. Look at that. So I should be hallucinating pretty soon. Right now, I'm actually playing pretty bottom right here. This is actually a pretty bad game. I could probably die to DTs. But I did see that Stargate, the Oracle, all these stalkers, the mothership core. It's just a lot of gas required to actually do that. So he has a second Oracle. This means he made a second Stargate somewhere. I killed the first one off. That's all I know. So I need to look. Doesn't have that many pros. Look at this. He's not mining the gases. Look at me. I'm having the gases as well. I see the Stargate, the extra gateway. So it looks like he's going for full-on aggression. However, here's the difference, guys. Why do I want to engage in this? This is where you need to understand my engagement. It's probably not the best thing to do for me, honestly, but understand this. I have more gateways. I also have +1 attack. I have +1 attack. There's no way he's gonna have +1 attack. So I have the upgrade advantage. I also don't have charge. That's actually bad. This is probably not gonna be the best engagement, I don't think, for me. The +1 attack does really help me out fairly well. This is probably death if I go up this ramp though. I better not go up this ramp. So nice time warp up for him. I probably should have just recalled and just got out of here. But the fact that I had more units on the ground than him because I had that extra gateway, not to mention my upgrades, it's actually kicking in here. You can see him losing all of his units. Yeah, so he's getting back up at +1 attack. He doesn't. So I scouted his all-in, doesn't really work. He didn't have that many probes as well. 30 to 31, so maybe those oracles did some damage. Those 2 oracles that he had might have done a couple of damage beforehand, before dying. Probably did. Those are some pretty sick units when it comes to harassing here. Nevertheless, I do have the upgrade advantage. I had the tech advantage. There's a triangle. I guess you could call it like a triangle tech for PvP. Robo beats Twilight. Twilight beats Stargate. Stargate beats Robo. And it goes in a cycle like that. So he went Stargate. I went Twilight. Crushed his army, had the upgrade, so I should pretty much win this game. This is actually probably the worst game to show, because there's not a second. I didn't go for a full-on late army. Honestly, there's not really a late game thing for PvP. It's pretty much just sky toss, so it gets pretty weird. I mean, there's the mid-game push. You could go for gateway units against that sky toss and do fairly well with High Templars with Storm. But as the game progresses, you do want to filter out those gateway units for some sky toss with High Templars. But early game, you want to see the is he proxy gating you? Is he cannon rushing you? Does he have 3 pylons in his base when you scout? When you have to leave, is generally when they're making a stalker, right? So when you generally have to leave, they should have a 3rd pylon on the way. If they don't have a 3rd pylon on the way, you need to check the map for potential proxies like he did. And find a way to scout. I was lucky to actually scout the Stargate. I might just look for another game. This is all impromptu, guys, so sorry. I know I have a later game than that. I have some notes. So this should help me out. Okay. Hopefully this is a good one. Oh, sorry about that. We're gonna go on my vision. Yes, okay, I do the build. Awesome. Okay. So this is actually probably a better one. When it comes to... There's actually just 2 stages in PvP. I guess the late game you do want to see if you want to go for... Nah. Yeah, late game's just... late game is just a mess right now in PvP. Pretty much it's gonna be like... if he's getting a lot of carriers, you go Tempest. If he's getting a lot of Void Rays, you go Phoenixes. Because you can outrange it and you could just storm the crap out of the Void Rays. Alright, so here I'm chrono boosting out a Sentry. Is one of the builds I like in PvP. I'm still working on a little bit of adjusting so I can 100% love it. is get a very quick sentry. It's kind of like PVT, right? I get this quick sentry. Why? Guys, why? Just think. Out of the spells, the force field, is it for guardian shield or is it for hallucination? What's gonna give me the upper hand? In PvP, it's a mess because you don't know what tech they're going for, so it's a coin flip per se. However, let's change that coin flip where you have the advantage, where it's you could be two-faced and pretty much have the two-headed coin. Let's scout what tech they're going for without committing to a tech, right? Because when you have hallucination, you're not committed to a tech. It's just gateways. It's just gateways. Once you scout their tech, you can kind of determine what you want to go for. So I have 100. I have 100. There it is. I want to make that Phoenix fastest unit in the game. Let's go. I did see some orphans right here. I'm still up on the ramp. No reason for me to come down here to contest this. I'm a mothership core. Let's scout. Alright, Twilight Council. 3 gateways. And a dark shrine right here. I'm going back over here just to make sure. I see this. There it is. Dark shrine. Robotics facility on the way, guys. On the way. I do want to note, this does not finish when the dark shrine finishes, so the DTs aren't going to be able to get out here on time. I canceled this. I'm a little bit debatable about this, actually, just thinking about this replay, because I actually have photon overcharge. I might be able to just use that and just kill him that way, but you know what, it's okay. It's okay. I know his tech. That's all I need to know. I know he went DTs. He's actually gonna finish it, I think. It looked like he almost did. So he's gonna be getting an Archon. Looks like he's gonna go for a bust here. Adding on extra gateways. And why am I adding on extra gateways? Because I had this assumption that he was going to do that. Photon overcharge, you want to just have a lot of units to deal with this. Pretty much. With photon overcharge, you should be able to hold this. I lost my mothership core. That's actually depressing. You generally don't want to lose that. It's 100 gas. So I'm getting an immortal. He has a lot of stalkers. I scouted that. Here's the second scout. Do I see the nexus? I don't see the nexus being made. Come on, come on, come on. Alright, so I see him expanding. Alright. That means he can't warp in that many units. He's only able to warp in a couple of units here. Because that's 400 minerals he just dumped. Killed off the Archon, so now he can't really break the force field here. He's gonna be bringing the DTs here. It's not actually gonna do anything at all. Force field that he's pretty much blocked here now. Okay. So, what is my next step? I can expand, or I could go for a counterattack. I scouted this. I also killed off a lot of stalkers. I think I go for a counterattack in this situation. I have my observer here and my mothership core. It's pretty much here back inside my base to defend against DTs. And my proxy pylon over here. Yeah, this is looking pretty good for me. 64 to 50 in favor of me. I saw the expansion. I saw that he lost his mothership core back over here. So he's not gonna have photon overcharge. All of this is lining up with what I scouted or what happened within my vision. There's really nothing he could do. He's pushing up here because he can force field this ramp. And you need to understand that, which is why I'm going up this ramp. He can't force field this ramp. Well, unless he makes 2 sentries. Nice force fields by me. Getting a huge chunk of his army. Warping back here. I probably should have warped in over here. Debatable. Actually, not even debatable. It's definitely better if it's over here. Still does not have photon overcharge, guys. He actually used the time warp, which is unfortunate for him. But still, he wouldn't have enough. Time warp 75. He only had what? He had like 15 energy after that. It's not. That doesn't equal 100. It's pretty much GG from here. So, GG from him. So that's pretty much scouting in the early game, which is probably the biggest thing in PvP is scouting. So if you're wondering how to scout, you can chrono boost that sentry first. And keep that baby alive so you can hallucinate a phoenix and scout what he's doing. So this is why I kind of like haven't shown the full version. I did make a tutorial on it, but there is some hiccups on there, like if they do some kind of stalker pressure, it gets pretty difficult to hold that nexus, so I end up canceling it there. So I'm still working on the build itself. I know that's unrelated to this video, but anyways guys, thanks for watching. It's probably a long video. I probably should have just cut this up in 3, but I'm sorry about that. It's just impromptu. But anyways, I hope this helps you out when it comes to scouting in general for Protoss players. But yeah, so anyways guys, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or any comments, just leave it in the comments below this video. I do greatly appreciate it, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. But yeah, thanks.